Hey, what up? We are porch setting today on the back porch. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Make sure everybody can hear me because the YouTube made changes again. I noticed it when I set it up. It kept asking me questions. I kept deleting them. So just want to make sure. Okay, Gene says yes. Okay, good. Very good. I depend on you guys to tell me this because if you can't hear me, let me know right away. I don't want to babble on like,
like he normally does.
Okay, Gringo Loco says loud and clear. Good. We are porch sitting on the back porch today because the new neighbors are moving in next door and they brought a semi-load of furniture out front. And so they're clang banging around, going in and out the semi-trailer, which that's not the big thing, but that's just part of it. Then the lawnmower guy over here next door was mowing and edging, making a lot of noise. It takes those guys, these are the slowest people I've ever seen in my life when it comes to mowing a yard. But anyway, I think they're gone finally, I think. And on top of that, it's very, very windy. So windy that when I put the awning out 3 times, it just came right straight back in. I didn't think it was that windy, but apparently it is. So strike 3, we're on the back porch.
Breaker 19 does Grumpy have his ears on? Jerry Bell. Yeah, that's funny, Jerry.
Yeah. See, you know that lingo. People that's never had a CB or rode in a truck or drove one or anything like that, they have no idea what you're talking about. You know, when you talk about 10 100s, that kind of thing, they don't know what you're talking about.
Probably a good thing.
Oh, beer of the day. Coca-Cola in a bottle.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny was good to him this year. John Hogan said that he heard the new neighbor is a professional drummer. You know, that's a possibility. We met him a while ago. He came to tell us that the movers were in front of our driveway, but other than that, we haven't actually had a chance to talk to him. So could be a professional drummer. How would you know that?
I don't know, but I hope I don't have to listen to a bunch of noise. I am retired. This is a retirement community. So time will tell. We've always had very good neighbors here, very quiet, very likable, so we'll see.
Yeah, new neighbors already. Yeah, and I said it didn't take very long. And I said, houses don't sit around here, especially nice ones like this one. No. No, don't work too hard, KM. Oh, 80 degrees in Rhode Island. Wow, and very windy. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the wind. I heard on the news last night that they may have got a nor'easter along the coast, but that's on the East Coast. So we got a front coming in from the west and one coming in from the east. So we're supposed to get some rain, and it actually, I watched the thing on my phone and it said it was supposed to rain at 9 o'clock. Then it was supposed to rain at 10 o'clock. And now they said 12 o'clock and it still ain't raining. So, I don't know how accurate those weather forecasts are. Usually they're pretty good, but today they're not hitting the mark. But it is supposed to be rain most of the day tomorrow, I think.
KM, are you retired? Just reading your comment there. If you are, get prepared because as you get a little older, the days will go faster. It just seems like they just do. I just feel like sometimes I just don't have enough hours in a day to do all these videos. And so, I was up for the last 2 days. I don't think I got to bed much before 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Not that I work all day, but I work off and on. I work on them for a while, and then I might watch TV for a while, and then I work on them for a while. Like I'm working on next Friday's news already, and I think I'm up to something like 13 minutes. I try to keep it around a half an hour. But anyway, speaking of that, you guys watch not this Friday's news. Well, I want you to watch that too, but next Friday's news, I made a little bit of changes on the on the news report. You'll notice them right away. Let me know what you think.
Dale McDermott, it closes on his house in Newell tomorrow.
Who
Well,
what?
congratulations, Dale.
What?
He's closing on his house in Newell.
He.
Dale McDermott.
Oh.
And I was looking at some houses in the paper, and I'll tell you, they've got some good buys in Newell. I mean, I've not been to Newell, so I'm not sure of the location of it. But seeing in the paper, they had a nice 3-bedroom with the golf cart garage for under $400. So that's better than what it has been.
Let me tell you what my interpretation of that is. You're not going to get any good deals down here without a reason behind it.
Well,
either you are very close to something that nobody wants to be close to, like a highway, or your house is going to come with a lot of carpeting, which nobody wants. That's going to cost you another 10 grand later on down the road to replace all that. I mean, that's just how it goes. But enjoy your new house. It'll be the best and the most expensive fixer-upper you ever bought.
Yeah, besides what Mr. Sunshine thinks.
We've been here 9 years and we're still fixing things up.
Well, yeah, things change. 9 years, you got to do something. Otherwise, it gets crappy.
I don't know. I don't see where we had to have a new closet install. I mean, what we had was
that
fine.
was not my idea, dear.
That was the anniversary gift because I run out of ideas after a while. You get so old, you don't need anything anymore.
Yeah, but I love it. I do love it, and Jeremy did such a great job. But I really worried about, because it's not a big closet, and I worried about putting all that stuff in there, whether I would have the room that I had before, and I do. And I said it's really nice, and it's more organized now, or I can get it more organized. I'll put it that way.
I was going to say, I don't think you're done moving stuff around, because somebody made comments the other day. So, oh, look, Skip don't have anything on the bottom back of that thing down there. That means more for Sue. I don't care. All I need are a few T-shirts, some shorts, and maybe a couple of button-up shirts. I do like the button-up Hawaiian shirts. By the way, I didn't start wearing Hawaiian shirts when I moved to Florida. I've wore them things my whole life practically. I mean, even at work in Indianapolis, I mean, people were always picking on me about wearing them on my days off. I just like them, so that's what I wear.
And Dal said that he's never even visited.
Who?
He bought a house in Newell, and he's never even visited.
Never visited the villages?
Yeah, and that's something. I mean,
I think I would have. I'm just saying, before I'd have bought me a house, I think I'd have went and looked at it. See, I mean, I did the same thing on my first one, but now down south of 44, things are a little different. So I think I would at least got an aerial view, had a real estate company take some pictures, send them to you, something to kind of know where the house is compared to where the new square is going to be, or where the new country clubs are going to be, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and he says being close to the highway will be like when he was a team driver for McLean. My stepdad he drove for McLean for years. I don't know if that's the same McLean or not.
Well, I don't know whether this house is even close to the highway. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, evidently.
Remember when they first started building houses and selling them down there? Not Finney, but on the outer skirts. And they started selling them. We said, damn, well, these prices are a little better down there for some reason. Well, we found out because they were sitting next to the interstate. And I didn't know if they'd get them sold or not, but they sold them pretty quick.
Yeah. But right now, I think, with the interest rates being so high, I think prices are coming down. I just happened to notice that one in there, and I was so shocked because usually it doesn't have a golf cart garage if it's below $4, unless it's a villa. But the designer homes, very seldom are those below that price, and the brand new ones. But they do mark the brand new ones. They mark them very well because they want to sell them. Oh, he says he's seen the drone footage of his house. Well, that's cool.
Well, at least you know where it's sitting. That's all I'm saying. When I decided on this neighborhood, not necessarily this house, because they sold things differently back then. I've explained that before. That's how we ended up with this house. But when I wanted this area. not necessarily Hillsborough. I could have been happy in Lake Deaton, Fernandino, any of these areas right through here. What's this one over here? Collier?
Collier.
Collier. I could have been happy at any one of them because this whole area right here, for me, I wanted to be close to a lot of golf. And I don't know every area in the villages and all this and that, but I do know that this whole area here is in the middle of like 4 country clubs and 13 different executive courses. And so that's all I cared about.
Well, and the realtor did a walkthrough video for him. So they, they've got an idea of the area and they've seen the inside of the house. So
I've always said,
good.
As a hint to kind of narrow down your search for a house, if you kind of know what it is you really want to do on a regular basis, like if you want to go to the squares like every night and dance because that's your exercise, then you know that you want to be reasonably close to a square. So that's why I say kind of know where your house is going to be. That's what leads to house number 2. It's because people decide, well, we go to our mailbox every day, and it's a mile away. I wish I'd have bought a house closer to the mailboxes and that kind of stuff.
And you get really, once you get here, you get really used to the idea of everything being very close. Because it's not really that far away. They build things in circles here. So you're not really that far away from any of the pools or the postal stations or any of that kind of thing. And you get used to that because I know when we travel, I notice a difference, going to find a restaurant or a grocery store. When you travel in a lot of places, that ain't happening real close. So you get used to that idea. I said, I just thought it was so far to get to the grocery store when we was in Texas. And where, it's so convenient here, either direction I go. And you notice that after a while. You get really lulled into that idea that everything's very close.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of stuff to the editor from new people basically down in the southern half, complaining about some things. One of them was, I read one just yesterday. Lady was complaining. She says, why is our mailboxes so far away from all the houses? She said, I've lived in a lot of places in the United States, and everywhere I've ever lived, the mailman brought the mail to my house. Well, same with me and Sue. We've always had a mailbox or something like that. Down here, it ain't that way. This is the way the village is set up. And my own response to that lady who wrote that to the editor is, you must not have done your research here at all. Because it's always been that way here. For 25 years that I know of, that's the way it's always been. And that's probably the way it will always be. So what your complaint is, really, to me, is you didn't do your research before you bought your house.
Well, and Gringo says he's been wearing an Aloha shirt since his first day at University of Hawaii. It's a state of mind, not just a shirt.
I think it is, because I wore them whenever I got off work at UPS and we went home on weekends. I couldn't wait to get the UPS uniform off of me. And I had my Hawaiian shirt on, even in the wintertime. I had my Hawaiian shirt on. We'd go to Starbucks. That was kind of like our weekend thing. Out to dinner on Saturday or a movie or whatever. On the way home, we stopped at our favorite Starbucks. We knew people in there. And, I had my Hawaiian shirt on. And I was always making comments, looking around saying, the only thing missing here, they don't have any palm trees in the parking lot. So it is just a state of mind.
Yeah. And Phil McNichols wants to know, do you ever go to Gainesville? If so, what's it like?
We've been to Gainesville many, many times, not really to go up there for any specific reason other than our last dog, she got sick a 3 times. And here in the villages, because it might have been because of COVID, I don't know. But the veterinarians here that we knew, they're okay as far as maintaining your pet, with shots and maybe neutering and things like that. But she needed to have treatment a couple of times, and they needed to keep her overnight because she needed an IV. Every one of them here. I mean, we called them all at that time. Buffalo Ridge Hospital. It's not a hospital. And there was some other ones. They said they don't have anybody to monitor the animals at night, so we have to take them elsewhere. Well, we was going up to Gainesville where they have the animal hospital next to the college. It's a teaching kind of thing. But I got to tell you, it's probably one of the best animal hospitals I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, yeah. I said I wouldn't even bother with the vet here anymore for anything serious. I just it's what an hour and a half at the most, and they're wonderful there. They really are. It's like a people hospital, and they treat your animals so well. Um,
Well, I think things might have changed because Linda just had her dog had that leg operation. She had it done here in the Villages, I think.
well, they have opened a couple new places.
Yeah. So if you have a pet and it's an elderly pet especially, and you concerned about things for your pet, just make sure you get the right veterinarian, because I can tell you that most of them here, they like to advertise as a hospital, and they're not.
Well, I'm trying to think of what they call the new one, because there's a new one and it's open 24 hours. And I can't think of the name of it now. But yeah, that was a problem for us, I mean, they always took care of the dog as far as maintenance goes, and getting their shots and things like that, and their flea medication. But when it comes to something serious, they didn't have a clue. And that's the first place they send you was to Gainesville. And
Yeah, we closed on our first house remotely too. Not only did we close remotely, we bought it remotely.
yeah.
It was the first time I ever bought a house. It's been, gosh, how many years ago has it been since we bought that first house? 15 years ago? It's been a while.
15, yeah.
And I'd never bought a house remotely. Luckily for me, I had a friend that worked for the Villages real estate company, and he went over and checked things out for me, took some pictures for me, sent them to me, because it's a long story. I ended up finding this house that was for sale through the Villages real estate company. But believe it or not, the real estate people didn't even know it was on there. I found it by accident. They all kept asking me, how did you find this? How did you find? Well, anyway, so he went and looked at it, and it eased my mind a little bit, because our first house was just a little patio villa. Because the long and short of the story is, I never wanted to live here full time. Never even dawned on me to live here full time. I just wanted to be a snowbird. I always thought that'd be the perfect life. Go up there in the summertime and see our kids, grandkids, all that kind of stuff, and come down here in the wintertime. But as time went on, grandkids grow up. You never think about that.
and they move other places.
Yeah, they move other places. We've got them all the way up in the northern part of North Dakota. And when we moved down here, our youngest son lived in the North Pole, Alaska. So I didn't see no point in keeping that house up there, because I had nobody that really would keep an eye on it for me for freezing pipes and, just all the little things you worry about. So we just decided to sell it and just come down here full time. And I've been here full time now for going on 9 years, or maybe right at 9 years.
Yeah.
And, people ask the question, would I buy here again? I didn't really have a problem buying here. The problem I had was the way they sold new houses here. And I still feel to this day I kind of got screwed. I was the first person in the Hillsboro area here to actually, I won't say close on a house, but to sign whatever it was. She told us at the bank we were the first person, maybe we was the first person to close on a house here in Hillsboro, but we were not the first to move in, because we had other things to do. And they just wouldn't sell but 3 houses in an area at a time. You didn't go through the neighborhood and say, I like that one, or I like that one, which I did. And I got the same answer every time. That house ain't for sale yet. You can't buy that one. Here's the 3 available in your area. And when I asked them why, they said, well, because if we sold 15 houses here, and she said, let's just say 15 people want to bring their furniture with them from wherever they come from. You're going to have 15 semi-trucks in your neighborhood running around fighting for a place to park and move furniture in and out. So that's why they said they only did 3 at a time. Now, I say they do things differently down 44. We went down there to do some videos on some brand new houses. A real estate person asked us to come down if we would do videos on some houses they had for sale. And I said, sure, I'll come down. And so we went down and was doing video. Well, while we were down there, a person who worked for the Villages real estate company came out, and she was thanking us about videos because she just sold a house there that was on our video. And we were just talking for a little bit. And I said, how do they sell houses down here now? Because in my area, and I told her, she understood. She said, yeah, they don't do that anymore. She said now, basically, we have all the houses open, and they just go in and look at them, and if they're interested in one of them, they just give us. There's a number or something on the front of the house. She said they just give us a number, and we just write it up right here. So now you got a choice of a whole neighborhood. Well, I wish I'd have had that here because I would not be in this house. Why? I have nothing against the house. I don't have a golf cart garage. That's my number one bitch. It's always been my number one bitch. I don't have a golf cart garage.
And why do we need a golf cart garage?
It makes the driveway wider, so you can park two cars side by side and be able to open the doors. Right now, if you park two cars next to each other in my driveway, you can't even get out of the car probably. That's a big problem. And I have extra room. Like right now in my garage, if I take you out there, there's a little refrigerator that I used to have out here. I'm going to get rid of it. It's sitting in a garage. The new dishwasher we put in, I took the old dishwasher out, which works fine. I'm just trying to find somebody that maybe is a little down on their luck that could use a new dish. I'll give it to them. It's out in the garage. It's just extra room. Storage at any house in the villages, unless you're a millionaire, is going to be an issue.
Yeah. Kevin wants to know how far are we from St. Charles Place? Probably, I'm guessing maybe 12, 15 miles at that much.
Oh, it ain't either.
I
It's just down the road, St. Charles Place. That's where Skip and Sue live.
Yeah.
I can get there in my golf cart in 20 minutes.
Okay. I don't know. It's not very far, Kevin.
No, it's not very far. You can drive, when you come down, is this Kevin Jacquet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can get in your golf cart and come to my house once you learn, all the ins and outs. Yeah. I'll say 20-minute golf cart ride, just a nice little golf cart ride.
And Martin Downland says, my wife Kathy and I will be arriving here on 5/1 for the whole month. We are very excited to explore everything and decide where we want to be going forward. That's wonderful. You got a month to explore, and then there's just so many things here. It's hard to get it all in, but it'll give you an idea if you want to live here or not, because it is getting it's getting more crowded. And like I said, at the squares and at the restaurants and things like that. Pretty soon, I think probably by the end of this month, it'll clear out a little bit. But people aren't going home like they used to. I mean, they're staying full time. So that's a big
snowbird
difference.
season used to be January, February, and March. That was the big, crowd. But now it seems like they don't go home until, gosh, in some cases, the end of May. Yeah. Because there's always something going on. Like right now, we're full of visitors because of the Easter thing for the kids. What do they call it? Camp villages?
Yeah. And I said, and too, a lot of people having company because they get an Easter break. I mean, it's not spring break, it's an Easter break. There's a difference. But yeah, I see people around here all the time, visitors. And I said, if you're coming for a month, that'll give you a good idea of whether you want to live here or not,
yeah,
I think.
I think a month you're coming in May. The temperature won't be too bad in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll get a good idea. It ain't gonna make no difference. If you have to have a brand new home, you ain't gonna have no choice but where to go.
Yeah.
Truthfully, you just need to know what you need to be close to.
And now they are getting ready to do the ones at Hacienda. They're villas, I think, and that'll be the only new ones up in that area, I think. So everything else will be south of 44 if you want brand new. But there's a lot to be said for the used ones, let me tell you.
Down south, if golf is priority for you and you like to have golf kind of fairly close to where you live, you don't want to, go an hour in your golf cart. And believe it or not, you can go from one side of the villages to the other. It might take you an hour to get there in your golf cart. And if you don't know where you're going, it could take you all day. I mean, I'm just telling you. Like Nancy Lopez from my house in a golf cart, and we played up there. And I know how to get there. I'm thinking, it's been a while, it took me probably, and I could be off here a little bit, I'm going to say 40, 45 minutes in golf cart to get up there from here. So to get to Nancy Lopez, say from the Finney area, from here to Finney's probably 15-minute golf cart ride, I'm guessing. So it'd be an hour from Finney in a golf cart at least, and that's if you know how to get there.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you're new, you're gonna get turned around a few times.
But that's okay. That's half the fun.
Yeah.
We used to do that, and I said we didn't know our way around either, but we found it. there's always somebody stops and asks if you need help or if you're lost or what have you. And even at that, you can just keep going. You'll eventually find your way home.
But my point, what I was saying was, I'm getting a lot of complaints from people down south stating they don't have enough golf courses down there. They say that every time they want to play golf, they have to come up here, they have to go way up there. And because of people down there not having enough golf courses, I guess the tee times that they're trying to get at other places further north, they're being denied because they're full. That could be an issue. So hopefully they'll get a few more courses open down there.
I did see in the paper where they've got 3 championship courses planned. They're starting on one now, but they have got the plans for 3 of them down there. Now, of course, don't know when that'll be done. The Middleton, which is the all-age area, that'll be next to the villages. That's how they put it. They do have the school done there, and they're selling houses in there, believe it or not. And like I said, I've not been down there, so I don't know what they've got or what the area looks like or anything. But it's they're just going to town. What can I say? And I seen a new apartment building yesterday that I didn't think was there when we left for Texas, and now they've got several stories up already. So they don't mess around here when it goes to building.
I see Jerry, and Marcia's having a war of words.
Well, and
you guys that are new that don't know Jerry, and Marcia, it's a thing with them.
KM says she wished she had a golf cart garage too, but the price would have been high. Yeah, it's
only $10,000. I mean, on the scheme of things, if you was to finance your home for 30 years, who cares? You're going to die here anyway. So, if you finance for 30 years, $10,000 means your house payment will go up roughly, $15 a month? So for $15, a golf cart garage, hell yeah. Me personally, I'm just putting it out there. I don't get a huge retirement check like a lot of guys do. We're fine. We get along. But the idea for me is retirement and a big mortgage just don't go together. I like not worried about it. So we pay cash for the first house. We paid cash for the second house. We do have a small mortgage on this house, but it ain't much. And it was on purpose. The tax guy said we should have a little bit of write-offs. Yeah. And that's why. And sometimes I wonder if it's even worth having it. But anyway, we do. So we spend whatever little money we have on the house, it seems like, all the time. With having these sliding, we had our Lanai enclosed, which I don't regret that at all. Some people don't do it because the way their house is situated, they didn't have the problem we had. I think Linda had hers enclosed, and she loves it, and she had hers air conditioned. I'm not even air conditioned. I'd like to, I think. Yeah. Day like today is perfect out here. We got them cracked. We got a breeze going through here, no problem. But there's a couple months a year, July and August, that this out here gets like a bake oven. I think we can make bread out here.
Yeah, it gets pretty hot.
It gets pretty hot. Yeah. And that's because there's no insulation above the lanai inside the attic area up there. Yeah. And just like your garage, I can't speak for down south, but I think I'm correct that on the brand new houses, there's no insulation above the garage. That's why the garage gets so hot. There's no insulation on the garage door. It's just cheap tin metal. That's all it is. I insulated my garage door myself with a kit. Wasn't that bad. The attic, I haven't never had insulation put up there yet because when I get the insulation blowed in the garage, I want them to do this out here. And the last company I had come out here said they could not do this out here because there was no access to get in here from the attic.
That was stupid.
I said, well, just cut a hole. That's me. Just cut a hole, stick the hose out there and let her fly. That's what I said. He goes, well, we can't do that. We can't compromise the structure of the house. Whatever.
Land Girl says, hi, Skip and Sue. Hamish and I are looking at homes, and I believe it will be this year. Hamish can't wait to meet Skip, and dinner be on us. Well, we can't wait to meet Hamish.
In case you guys don't know who Hamish is, that's her fur baby.
Her fur baby, yes. And she sent you a $4.99. How's that?
All right.
Thank you, kid.
Super chats. I love them. Keep them super chats coming. By the way, I've been having trouble with YouTube. I don't really know what's going on, and I've talked to by email to a couple other YouTubers. One of which was I don't know if you're going to hate this name, but her name's Wonder Hussy, and she sent me an email back saying she's having the same problem, and she said that she's got 8 or 9 people she knows they're having the exact same problem. That the income on YouTube all of a sudden, and I can't speak for everybody here, mine went down probably 60% in the last month. Don't know why. They seem to think that they're throwing all the advertisements on the YouTube Shorts, like they're trying to promote that. And that could be true. I don't know, but according to my analytics, it doesn't look like that, but I don't really know that. So that's why the super chats, thank you.
Yes, yes. Oh, and if you get a chance, go look at Wonder Hussy. It's a weird name, yeah. But she used to be a Vegas showgirl. But she's out in the desert. I can't remember where is that she's at.
Dead Sea, the hottest place in the United States.
But anyhow, she lives out there. But she has some interesting stuff that she finds out there that I would have never even thought of. But I like her. I like her videos. I really do. And she meets people along her way. Her and her sister both live out in the desert in this town, and I can't think of the name of it, but they just had a big festival for the volunteer fire department. And they did such a good job of promoting that festival. I don't know if they had people come out there, but a lot of people go out to the desert. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, she sent me an email and told me, said, if we happen to be out there on vacation or whatever, said, send me an email. She's going to take us somewhere where they have dated malts, ice cream malts.
Oh, yeah.
Dated ice cream.
Yeah, and
palm dates, I guess. I don't know.
They're big on dates. And then I said, there's a place there that's its specialty, is that it makes the malted dates. No.
Look at here, Land Girl GB, $4.99. I don't know if that's a super chat or super sticker, but whatever it is, it's $4.99.
Yeah. That's what I just read you, sweetie.
Oh, I thought you said Hamish.
No. Well, that's her.
That is her?
Hamish is the fur baby.
She changed her name then, because it never used to be Land Girl. It was something else.
Yeah, it was.
I know who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. People change their names and I get lost. I don't know who it is. Okay, now I know who it is.
Agent K said he's seen a Bucky's billboard on 95 North that said "Poop like a rock star." I like Bucky's. They do have really good restrooms. Used to be Starbucks, we used to look for the Starbucks to find the clean restrooms, and that kind of got out of hand after a few years. So, yeah, Bucky's have a really nice restroom. And they advertise for them, so poop like a rock star.
Hey, all I know is I go into Bucky's. I have only really one problem with Bucky's, really. Everybody else knows about them. That's my problem. I have never been to a Bucky's yet, other than going in there late at night, like at midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that, that they're just not super packed. You'd swear to God that this was, what they call that, Black Friday. I mean, all the pumps, 100 pumps, and they're all full. But the thing is, when you look at the pumps where cars are parked, there's nobody in the car. They just park in the pumps and go in the store for whatever reason, and they just park by the car. Or by the pump. And I think they park by the pump because it's the closest thing to the front door. That's irritating when you're trying to get gas and you can't get gas because people are parking by the pump and walking away. And there's no sense for it at Bucky's because they got 50 acres of parking.
Yeah, 120 pumps at most of them. And then the outside parking, they have, I read it had parking spaces for 250 or something like that. Outside at the pumps, so there's plenty of room. But you may have seen the old video where we were sitting at Bucky's and the guy in front of us was changing the kid's diaper in the back of the car.
It's amazing, just amazing that people have a brain that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's been another accident here. 2 of them. It'll be on the news, I think, next Friday. More detail if I got it, but. Zach, his parents used to live in my neighborhood. He called me last night, and he wanted to collaborate on something. To be honest with you, I don't know what it is. I told him I'd do anything I could do to help, but I'm not sure what it is. And I was asking about his parents, so how they doing? Oh, they're doing great, blah blah blah. And he said, "Oh, by the way," he said, "who's that lady that got run over by the car in your neighborhood?" I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I think it's back there on what's this road back here?"
Quaker.
Huh?
Quaker.
Quaker. Well, according to the news, it ain't on Quaker, unless it ain't out yet. There's a lady who forgot to set her parking brake, and then the car run over her up at St. Charles Place.
Yeah, that's where she was. She wasn't at home. She lives here.
But she lives here. Well, see, they're all saying that she did it here. And I'm going to say, I didn't see no emergency equipment or anything.
It was done somewhere else, but she lives back here.
So it's things like that. I mean, this is what I keep trying to point out, and I'm not making fun of anybody. As we get older, we forget. Ask Sue. I can lose more stuff in a matter of a minute than you. Let's see, in the last 2 days, we've been running around the house looking for my tax papers.
No, we haven't.
Well, me. For this stuff. This is a business, by the way, in case you don't know. I have to keep income records. I have to keep whatever I buy and all this and that. And I had it all in there on an envelope. And I know I had it. And I told Sue, I said, I can't find it. I don't know where I put it. Now, she already had the appointment to go up to the tax guy. So I got to find this stuff. And we dig and look and tear things apart and couldn't find it. So I went in there and I'm sitting in my chair kind of watching TV, really. I'm thinking. And then I picked up a box and I looked down in this box and there was this manila envelope and there they was. And then as soon as I found them, now this is the funny part. As soon as I found them, I turned around and I thought, well, where's my phone? Where's my phone? What the hell did I do with my phone? I can't find my phone. So the phone that I use for the call-in show, I thought, I'm going to call my phone. So I called my phone, which it's almost impossible to do that because I keep my phone shut off, the sound.
And your mail is full.
And my mail's full, and I keep the sound turned way down so you can't hear it. But I called it anyway, and I could hear it vibrating. So I found it, But I don't think that I'm the slowest kid on the block, but good Lord, as you get older, you just lose everything.
Oh, and thank you, Martin. That was really nice. Another $4.99.
Martin Donlan, thanks, buddy.
For everything you do. Well, we appreciate it. I said we don't do a whole lot, but
no, but that's nice, and I do appreciate it. That's what keeps the channel going.
Also, Kathy B at $4.99. Well, thank you, Kathy.
Which Kathy B? Kathy B in the 603.
I believe so. Yeah, and you'll be here in no time.
Kathy B in the 603.
And Marcia, another 5.
You're going faster than me. I'm still up here. I'm reading Jerry Bell picking on Marcia.
Oh my gosh, that's all the way back to the front.
I go slow.
Yeah, and the difference there, guys, and when we found this out by accident, the difference between the $5 and the $4.99 is the iPhone. If you use the iPhone, it's the $4.99. If you're not using an iPhone, it comes out $5.
Yeah,
why I don't know.
I don't know. It's an iPhone thing. But, yeah.
But I mean, that we found that out by accident. So because we always wondered, that $4.99 or $29.99, that kind of thing. When that come up, it was kind of odd.
I think Martin Donlan. Martin, where are you going to be staying at? It's a lifestyle visit, or did you just rent a house somewhere? I'm just curious. None of my business. I'm just curious. I might be able to point out 1 or 2 things for you to check out. If you're a golfer, obviously do that. Getting a tee time is, because you're not a resident, could be a little difficult unless you have somebody do it for you. And it makes it easier if you do it on the computer. I know you can do it on the phone. But I'm here to tell you that phone thing is, unless they've changed it, it's a real pain. It's a real pain.
Jerry says they're waiting on the Mean Gene dance.
The what?
They're waiting on the Mean Gene dance. Where you get the super sticker or what have you. Mean Gene, the dancing machine.
Oh, That's a Wednesday night
He's
live.
done forgot.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday night live thing. There's some things that I do on Wednesday night live that I don't do any other time, like the Dicky birds in the back. I start them before Wednesday night live only. I never use them for nothing else. It's just a Wednesday night live thing.
Yeah.
And the I don't know, the Mean Gene and the Super Sticker song and stuff like that. That's a WNL thing. So
The rest of the time, he doesn't move that fast.
yeah, the rest of the time I think I like to have each segment have its own little thing, like this porch setting thing. We're not scripted. We're just here talking to you. Anybody's got a question, we'll try to answer them. I suppose I could probably come up with a fancier format. I just don't see the point. This seems to be just fine.
Agent K says Bucky's beaver nuggets are addictive. No Bucky's in Pennsylvania, so they got to get them at Amazon.
Bucky what?
Bucky nuts.
Bucky nuts. They are addictive, ain't they? I don't even know what they are. They almost taste kind of like a hardened honey crunch.
They're just so
puffball.
Sweet. I can't hardly handle them. And Martin says he's renting a house. It's on Viola Court. Not sure what village. It might be Hillsborough. Viola Court. That sounds familiar.
Are you north or south of 466 or 466A? Do you know that? Do you know if you're close to a square, which square? Are you close to a golf course, walk golf course, anything like that?
They've not been here before. They don't know that. He just knows it's Viola Court.
Well, usually if they rent a house, it has a description. Close to this, close to that.
Tony K, $4.99.
Thanks, Tony. Porch Settin is back. Yeah, it is. Good, bad, or ugly, it's back.
Yeah. And we had a great time in Texas. We did, but it's nice to be home. And I know somebody told me that they lived here, they'd never leave. Well, it's nice to travel, though. And I said, we like traveling. And
there's a lot of people here that travel. My guys, the Canadians that owned the house across the street, he came down, I don't know when, I don't pay no attention, I'll say 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's gone already. He left 3 or 4 days ago to take a cruise.
To Greece. Yeah.
So people travel here all the time. The lady behind us, she's gone 80% of the time. Yeah. Seriously, she's got 3 or 4 houses around the United States here, and she travels to each and every one of them. Yeah. Linda's another one. She's gone at least half the time. She still has a house in California, so she goes back and forth to there.
But that's a nice thing.
I'm just jealous that I don't have a house everywhere. You
meet such interesting people, though, because they're just all over, from all over, and I said different states. They have different habits, and so it's kind of fun.
KM says, "Love your closet."
Oh, I do too. Like I said, I really was worried that I wouldn't have enough space for everything, because I'm kind of a clothes horse, but like I said, once they got it done, I thought, well, this is great. I can get this organized, and I can still get all my stuff in here, and I think it's great. And I said, Jeremy did such a good job, and I said, Skip helped out. He took down the old closet and everything. He didn't have to do that, because I know Jeremy does do that. When we videoed Vic's house, and he done that closet, and he took all that down and did the spackling and the painting.
Get it to where he could get in and out of here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I didn't have to, but I thought, why not? I'm not doing anything.
Oh.
By the way, anybody could use any of them racks. I put them up in the attic. I didn't throw anything away. I don't throw nothing away. That's why I need a golf cart garage. I have a place to store stuff.
So we'd have more crap.
Yeah, and the odds are I'm never going to use them racks in the garage ever again. So if anybody wants them, get a hold of me or whatever, and I'll send you my address. You can come over and pick the stuff up.
Kathy B in the 603 says, I just found a rental for February and March in Pinellas. House prices seem to be coming down. Yes, they seem to be. And I said, that might just be the new area, because, that's where I seen that house price. But
who was coming down for the month of May?
Kathy B. She said she just found for May, that was...
Martin Donlin?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's near Brownwood. Well, I'm near Brownwood.
Yeah, so the house is close to Lake Deaton. Okay.
Well, that's just down the road from where I live. I can probably walk to your house.
Not hardly, but
Lake
yeah,
Deaton.
It's not far.
That's the next village down. There's 2 villages, Lake Deaton and another one. They both get me confused. Same name, Deaton and Dunedin.
Dunedin.
Which one's the first one down here on the right?
That's Dunedin, I believe.
So Lake Deaton is way over there by the shopping center?
Yes, and that's why it's Lake Deaton Shopping Center. So
Okay,
Lake
the
Deaton
one thing you want to check out while you're over there anyway, is Rohan Rec Center.
Oh, yeah?
It's the major regional rec center. The last one north of 44, that was the last one built. And I think it was supposed to be the final one built, but you know, they went across. But yeah, check out that. That's an easy thing right there. It has all kinds of murals inside that shows the beginning of the villages as you follow the mural around to show you what the transition is.
And Cheryl Perry, I have never played golf. I tried, Skip was going to teach me at one time, but I kind of got bones that don't work well. I had bones and no muscles, so it wasn't in my wheelhouse. I tried water volleyball once and broke both my wrists. So, you know, I try not to do things that'll hurt me. But I just love it. I wish I could because it's a real social thing here. I mean, the girls go out and they play golf and then they go have lunch and like I said, it's just a very, very social. You get to meet new people, and I wish I could do it, but no, I never did. But I would if I decided to do that, I would probably take lessons because they do offer them here. And learning how to play golf from Skip was probably not a good idea.
If you're going to learn how to play golf, my suggestion is, especially down south down there, pitch and putts become kind of a big thing. And it's a good, really, entryway of getting into golf without having to worry about taking a driver out and knocking the ball 200 yards and all that stuff. That's what I would say. Depending on which one you go to down there, one of them, and I don't know which one's which, but one of them down there has a parking issue. That if you take your car, it's a goofy setup. That if you don't have your own equipment, I guess, you're going to go down to this pitch and putt place, down there I'm talking about. They're going to tell you have to go up to the regional rec center, which is Finney, and you get your clubs, I guess, up there somewhere. And then you got to go back to the place and park your car, which there's no parking for cars. It's all golf cart parking. And so people have been parking in front of other people's houses, which they've been raising hell about because people's walking through their yards and stuff.
And they've had an issue with that because that comes under, I think it comes under the Wildwood police down there. And so they've got signs up everywhere now. They didn't used to, but they've got signs up now saying no parking because people was parking in the neighborhoods because that's all the parking there was. And I said, rather than walk from Finney all the way back to the pitch and putt, but now I think they've got two other.
There's a couple, three down there now, but one of them has this problem, and I don't know the name of it.
Yeah. And I've never played the pitch and putt. Is that like miniature golf, or is it just a
it's
smaller...
like a short game of golf where you might only have to hit the ball 50 yards or something to get on the green. We're on a regular golf course, average regular golf course.
Yeah, well, so that would be a good way to enter into something like that. See if you may not even like it. And let me tell you, I don't think I could have done it in the 97 degree heat that the guys do. I just don't think I'd like it that well. So you guys come get me at the country club when you're done. Oh, and another $4.99. Thank you, Ronald. So he's sitting on my front porch drinking out of a coffee mug that says, kudos. Temperature is 75.
See you on the other side.
Yes.
People always want to say it says kudos.
Well,
if you haven't been following me for a long time, that kudos is just a short abbreviation for my sign off on all my videos I've done for years. See you on the other side, which goes back to my trucking days. As I'm passing somebody, I'm heading east, they're heading west, but I know that person heading west. He gives me a police report going back my way. I give him a police report going back his way. Final thing is, see you on the other side, because in a little bit, I'm going to be heading home on his side. He's going to be heading home on my side. That's where that come from.
Yeah, confusing? Maybe.
It ain't confusing.
Well, I mean, I've always heard that said, like you're going to die.
People just make things up.
Well, I know.
That ain't what it means at all.
You made it up.
No, it ain't. That's a trucker slang.
Well, I know. Well,
it's like a 10-100. That sounds better than say I got to piss. That's what 10-100 is.
Yeah, you could be a little bit better about that. But,
Oh, get rid.
Yeah. It's I can't believe this weather. I mean, you know, you guys are having up north are having better weather than we're having right now. And I couldn't wait to get back here because that last week in Texas it was just rain and dreary and windy, just
It
awful
wasn't
wind.
that way all
It
week.
was too.
It was not. God, these people that come move down here, you take them outside this state, and all of a sudden they start to whine. It's so cloudy. I miss the sun. Although it's so chilly.
And then we come back here, and now all of a sudden that weather's made it over here. So
I will say we did have 3 or 4 days where the high was in the 50s, and the lows that night were in the 40s, and it almost did seem like winter. I had my jacket on. We were doing some tours of small oceanside towns that they're not touristy at all. And so we were showing some of them. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I think one of them is either up or it's going to be up on the RV channel. And
Skip and Sue RV thing.
That was that day we went up and we took that path and went down by the ocean. And they
Indianola?
No, I don't know what the town was. It was
Seadrift.
Oswell.
Oswell.
Anyway, it was that day. There we went to Seadrift. Then we went to some other little town that had the rollout thing and went out on the beach for wheelchairs.
Oh yeah.
That video's out, I think, now.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, I went out there to do video of the beach to show you how big they are, how wide they are during low tide. And I turned around and I said, I'm going back to the car. I think I'm done. I mean, it was just cold.
Yeah.
Then
you heard him say that. Now he just got on to me saying that. Yeah.
When you walk out to the beach and there's no trees or anything, it's just windy all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Well, then that cold wind goes across that water. It even feels colder.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think we went to that dumpy restaurant that I really didn't care for.
I didn't get out of the car half the time. I couldn't stand that cold with the wind whipping the way it was. I just stayed in the car most of the time. But it was interesting to see those places because they said you don't see a lot of beaches around here that are open. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the famous ones that you hear of course, they've got hotels and condos and you have to find beach access if you can find it. And I said there it's a little bit different. Now I don't know. In places like Galveston or Corpus Christi, yeah, they have building on the beach and what have you, but most of it is pretty wide open. And I said the amount of RVs parking on the beach was incredible.
we found 3 or 4 towns.
Yeah.
Where parking on the beach wasn't no problem.
Yeah.
And I don't mean 1 or 2. I mean a lot. They had people all up and down the beach parking. And so, that's what I was trying to show, that if you're coming through Texas, coming through this area, heading from point A to point B, wherever it may be, if you are around this town, they have this free parking on the beach. And some of the parking on the beach they had, I don't know who you would talk to, but they had electric hookup.
Yeah, that was Magnolia Beach, yeah. And it was odd to see because we've seen some beach parking where I would be afraid to park there. Because you never know when the tide comes in, because you really were on the beach. And then I said, getting stuck in the sand is not my idea of happy. But like I said, some places they have kind of a wall. And you're on the beach, but there's kind of a wall there to drop down before you get to the water. And so that looked a little bit safer to me because we don't know anything about the tides, when the tide comes in, how high it gets or anything like that. So those looked Magnolia Beach looked a little bit safer, and it had a lot of RVs on it, all different kinds. And there was nothing there. I mean, it was just beach. The town itself didn't have a lot of restaurants or anything, practically. We had tried to find some housing, see what the prices were in the housing there, and there just wasn't anything for sale.
Joy, you are correct. She's here. She said that, same thing. So our vet isn't a 24-hour place either. The vet said to go to the animal ER in Leesburg. Well, we knew that, and here's why we couldn't do it. Our vet, the so-called Buffalo Ridge Hospital, closes at 5 o'clock. the emergency ER in Leesburg doesn't open until 9 o'clock.
And I don't think they're open on the weekends either.
Well, it may not be open on weekends. I remember when all this happened, we made them calls, and Katie was getting so bad, we didn't have time to fool around to make a bunch of phone calls.
Yeah.
We knew about the emergency room in Gainesville because we'd been there once before. She was getting to the point, and it happened real quick, that I wasn't sure she's going to make it up to Gainesville.
Yeah.
So we called Leesburg. Leave a message. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. I said, load her up. We put her in the car and we took off. And actually, she didn't make it back that day either because we had to have her put down. It was really bad.
Yeah.
So, but we knew at her age and stuff that, you know, her time was limited. I mean, it kind of.
She had diabetes.
Yeah, she had really bad diabetes.
But yeah, if you ever have a need, that Gainesville Hospital is wonderful.
Yeah, just keep that in mind, Joy. If you have pets and emergency pops up, find out, because I don't know what it is right now, but find out when that emergency place is open. Find out if they're open on weekends and things like that. That way, if something does happen, you're prepared. You know that, let's say your animal gets really, really sick on a Saturday, and you know that place is not open on weekends. You're not going to mess around. You're just going to grab your animal, and you're going to head to Gainesville.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you to go clear to Gainesville because there might be something in Ocala that I'm not aware of.
Yeah. Ed Chisholm says we're using Ronaldo for our driveway, garage, and Lanai flooring. Says thanks for the reference.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. Ronaldo does us a good job. He always has.
Yeah.
Now there's some people that do different stuff than what he does, but he has a book full of stuff.
Yeah, he has. I always make fun of that book. I said, did Ronaldo show you the book? The book is like this thick. And what it is just a book of pictures, good pictures, showing all kinds of designs that he's done over the years, and he gives you that for ideas.
Yes.
Or you could come up with something on your own, and he'll just do it.
Marcia says 10-100 is better than 10-200.
That's true. That's true. I got stories that I could tell. But I keep thinking that maybe I should start a trucker talk YouTube channel because nobody else would understand.
Dale says windshield waves and trucker talk.
Yeah.
And Marcia says, so if we need to get your attention, we can type break.
Yeah, breaker.
Breaker. Yeah, she's throwing out Smoking the Bandit talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Burt Reynolds and that movie was, we watched it a million times. That's one of the things you get on DVD and wear it out,
Thanks, Christine. Appreciate it.
Oh, bye, Kevin. Says have a good day. He evidently has to go back. You going back to work?
I thought he was retired. Maybe she's retired and he's working.
Yeah.
I thought one of them was retired anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like wrestler. She's retired, but he still works. But he told me the other day when we did the live call-in show, he called in, and I talked to him for a little bit, but he still got it planned that at the end of this year he's done, but he has to give him a 30-day notice thing, I think. I don't understand all that, so he figures he'll actually be totally retired February 1st, but I don't think he has to work. I'm wondering if they do there what your sister did at the prison. You can accumulate days.
Yeah, and so you take all your vacation days at the end of it, and Yep. Negatory good buddy. Haven't heard that in a long time.
We never use the word good buddy. That's code. The word good buddy is code.
Oh, yeah, and do you know a good choke and puke place?
I do. Oh, shucks.
Oh, my gosh.
That's and I got a feeling that Oh Shucks is on the verge of either being overwhelmed to the point where I'll never be able to go back there again, or it's going to disappear. Because I read a report the other day, if you look behind Oh Shucks, I'm not sure how far back behind Oh Shucks it is. There's a big empty lot there that's got a building on it that I think at one time was possibly maybe an automotive place or something, and it's empty. A major hotel company is asked for permission to build a hotel there.
Oh,
So, and I'm sure that Wildwood will approve it. They approve everything. And if they do that, oh shucks, there's a sidewalk that goes down there a little bit. That's going to be the closest walking place for all them people to go to get a burger and a beer.
no.
So I got a feeling those shucks could be overwhelmed,
Or maybe they'll offer them a good price for it.
and there goes another one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Jerry's correct. In the villages, you can buy ethanol-free gas. All the golf cart stores in the villages have ethanol-free gas pumps. You can also go to a lot of the gas stations that are located inside the villages, like the one over at Pinellas. One pump there is ethanol-free. I don't know that every one of them has ethanol-free, but my guess is every one of them probably has an ethanol-free pump because of all the golf carts.
Oh my. Lot lizards.
Oh, I can tell them a story about that too.
I know.
I got so many stories.
And Gringo Loco says the Dairy Queen has small blizzards for 85 cents in the app. And there's a certain dates for those, isn't it? I think there was a certain date that it started and it ended, but I can't remember.
Problem is, we don't have a Dairy Queen here I can get to in my golf cart.
Well, no, you have to take the car. Okay.
Somebody was telling me that in Rhode Island, it might have been Kevin, that it was something like 80 degrees.
Yeah, he just said a while ago what the temperature was. That's why I said they're having the warm weather up there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
At home, it was like 74 today.
Huh.
So.
Enjoy it while it's there because it can disappear tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is still spring up there. So.
Right now in Indiana, my mind tells me we're April, that the crocuses has been up and gone. The Easter lilies are probably growing right now. Tulips will be getting ready to come up. Then after that comes dandelion season.
Yes. I said that. I loved eating dandelion greens, but dandelions are the bane of my existence. I could not get them out of the lawn. It drove me crazy.
Martin, what's the best GPS used for golf carts? There's 2 golf cart apps that the Villages offers. One of them is free. You can try it. I've never gotten good reports about that one. People are telling me all the time that it's not very good. There's another one you pay for. It's like $7 or something. Maybe somebody on here can tell you more about it, but I understand of the 2 golf cart apps that the one you pay for is the best one.
And Kristen Shanice says it's Wisconsin, it's 80, but it'll be 50s this weekend.
Wisconsin, where did we get the homemade pies? Your brother told us to go there.
Yeah, I think that was probably.
Is that Wisconsin?
Wisconsin or Minnesota, I don't remember. It was a place that was, it was famous for its pies.
They had billboards out by the highway.
Yeah.
And when you got to the town, really, it was just a small, looked like kind of like a country town. There really wasn't much going on.
Oh, but I remember across the street was was it a Swiss restaurant? And they had a building.
They had grass on the ceiling.
They had grass on the top of it. Yeah.
And somebody told me that once in a while they actually put goats up there to trim the grass. Seriously, that's what a guy told us.
Yeah.
He said during the touristy type of year, they put goats up there to eat the grass that's on the ceiling or on the roof of this business.
Yeah.
And her brother said, you have to stop at this place to get the homemade pies. He says, it's really good. I really wasn't going to stop there. The idea of pies, just, so what? But we went there, and it might have been a weekend. I don't even know. But the town itself was kind of dead. Really wasn't much going on, except at this pie place.
Yeah. And there was standing room.
It was standing room only.
Yes.
People was in line outside on the sidewalk. I wanted to go in and sit down. I mean, I'm not one for standing and eating or anything, but we did. We finally got a table and we sat down. I think I actually ate dinner or something there, and then we had pie.
Yeah.
I remember the pie, but I don't remember the dinner. I guess that ought to tell you something.
Skip Wilson said ethanol-free gas for lawnmowers is $25 a gallon in California. Wow.
Well, that's why people are moving out of California, because the people in California are nuts. They elect the stupidest people to run that state that does the dumbest stuff, and they complain about it, but they keep electing these same people. I mean, what can I tell you?
Yeah.
I don't live there. I don't want to live there because of the people that do this stupid stuff. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with the way things are done here. And, you know, and I don't want things here to change.
Yeah. And Kristen Cheney says, yeah, there's a place in southern Wisconsin, but you can't think of the name. But they have two places, one in the southern part and one western place in Door County has a place with goats on the roof. Well, I bet that's it.
We went to one of them. I don't remember.
We went to the House on the Rocks.
Yeah, but we went to the pie place before that, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why
yeah,
we were there.
We was heading to, House on the Rocks. There, them damn red birds he's in there. You see how it's nothing but sand right here?
Yeah.
That's because that damn bird has flipped every one of my mulch out of that flower bed.
I wondered what happened to the mulch.
Those birds do it. And then when Ronaldo gets here Pedro, Jose, whatever his name is, he mows the grass and then he chips all that up.
We have a problem with birds.
I don't have a problem with them. They just irritate me because they cause me work.
Well.
What was you talking about?
Martin Donlan said they're 5 miles from O'Shucks.
No, $25 for gas.
Oh, yeah, he said in California it was $25 a gallon for lawnmower, for ethanol-free gas for the lawnmower.
Well, because they're passing laws that you're not allowed to even sell a gasoline lawnmower or anything anymore. I don't know when that starts, but that law's been passed out there by this nutball governor they got that wants to run for president, and we should not be voting for this guy, but he's making it illegal. Yeah. By the year 2035, no gasoline cars can be sold in California. No gasoline generators of any kind can be run on a motorhome or whatever. No gasoline lawnmowers are allowed to be used. And the people that mow grass and stuff, landscapers for a living, they're the ones raising hell. They say they can't do their business with battery-operated stuff. And I understand. Yeah. I'm saying maybe as time goes on, they'll be able to progress to that, but not the way he's talking about doing it. And it amazes me because this guy will spend $1 billion buying dumpy hotels and remodel them and then put homeless people in there. But you can't run your gasoline lawnmower. I just don't get any of that.
Yeah. William wants to know when you're going to do the ride around with the Fruitland Park Police Department.
Last email I got from him, I think, was last December. I think it was December, or it could have been around Thanksgiving time. It was somewhere in that frame. And he said that somebody stopped by the police station. Whoever it was, thanks. I never did know who it was.
It was probably William.
It was one of my subscribers is all I know. And he sent me an email saying that this guy wanted to know when we was going to do the ride along. He said, I just want to let you know I haven't forgot. This is his email to me. It says, I haven't forgot. He said, we're real busy right now getting things, whatever they're doing over there. And I don't know what they're doing. And he said, so it probably won't be till after the first of the year. That's the last email I got, and that's what it said. I sent him one back saying, hey, no problem. Just let me know. And I haven't heard anything since, so I don't know. Maybe he watched one of my videos and decided he don't like me.
You never know. You're kind of an acquired taste. The House on the Rocks is interesting, but felt like a dungeon to me. That's what Kristen Cheney says.
I thought it was rather interesting.
It was, well, it was interesting, but I'm like you. I'm kind of claustrophobic, and it did feel.
I almost felt like I was walking through a long cave.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. But they had so much stuff in there and I had heard about it when I was a kid. I had heard about this place, and so we had to go take a look at it. And that was 50-some years ago. And
I think I did video, didn't I?
Yeah, you did video.
Is it on this channel?
It's on the RV channel, I believe.
No, I didn't have an RV then. Nope.
No?
No way.
Well, I know you did a lot of video.
Okay, it's probably on here. You'll probably have to go look for it. It's in a file somewhere. If you've never been to House on the Rock and you're driving through, going to the Dales, it's all as you're heading toward the Dales, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say go. It's a lot of walking, a lot of things there to see.
The North Nook.
What house?
The name
What
of the
house
pilot.
designer? What architect? That's what it's about. It's the architect. He designed that house.
Oh, I can't think of that right now.
Yeah, it's about really the architect guy that designed this house, and there's a story about how all this stuff come about. But we went through it, and what it really is, it's a musical kind of house. Most of it, you go through it, and it's just like a whole orchestra of instruments. You see it up there, but it's all automated, and it all starts to play. And there's
And
no
we used to have a music box. It was a Regina music box, and it went to a museum when Skip's parents passed away. But they had a whole room full of Regina music boxes there, and we'd never seen one like that before. And they had some that was pretty close to the one we had, but none of them were the one. But it was very interesting. And then they had one room that was just a big carousel, huge carousel. And
the whole room, it's not just a carousel. There was stuff hanging up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, things start playing in segments. Like the carousel will be running, and they'll be playing music, and then all of a sudden something will join in. Well, it's something up here in the ceiling started playing, and it's just really something to see. Yeah,
Kristen, no, it wasn't Frank Lloyd Wright. But like I said, the name escapes me right now. But like I said, I know it, but it wasn't right, because I've seen all his buildings.
What?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
I think that's it.
No, that wasn't.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I think it was.
Well, and she said the name of the pie place, the North Nook.
I don't know. All I know is a lot of walking.
Yeah. But that, it is a lot of walk. And the day that we went, it was kind of drizzly.
It was.
Kind of a gray day. And so being inside was a plus.
But I think we got pie before there. Or do we get pie after we left? See, it's been a long time ago, and I don't remember what hotel we stayed at. I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Becky Farmer said, didn't get notification. Hello, Skip and Sue. Hello, Becky. I don't know why you wouldn't get notification. That's a YouTube thing, not a my thing. I've actually thought about having a sign-up page where before we do anything, I personally would send out notifications to everybody. But that just seems like more work I got to do, and I got enough, and I just don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, but after I'd had been on the channel for a couple of years, I quit getting the notifications, and I still don't get them. And I erased everything and started over, still don't get them. So I don't know what the deal was. It's a YouTube thing. Alex Jordan.
Marcia says, Jerry, we are famous. Kelly B.
Yeah, Alex Jordan Jr. was the designer of House on the Rock. Well, and that last place we didn't go to, but it's where the rock juts out over the area.
We didn't get that far, I don't think.
No, and they've got like a glass floor, and you can see down the canyon.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go out there anyway.
Well, I know. No. That's why I didn't even bother. But yeah, we didn't go there. But we went down the way somewhere, and we were on a trail, and we pulled off, and from that trail, you could see where that rock jutted out over the canyon. And I'm glad we didn't go up there, actually. That would have probably been a little bit too much.
Well, I would have went there if she wanted to go there, but you're not getting me to walk out there on the glass floor. I got this heist thing. Yeah. I've always had it. I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. But it's a funny thing. I can get on the roof of a house and walk around and do all kinds of work. That doesn't bother me. I can go up in a tall building, and I'm fine with it, but I can't walk to a window at the edge of that building and look down. Yeah. I know it sounds stupid, right? But that's just the way. We went to the Washington Monument, went to the top of it. Years ago, and they had this little thing that you could look down. It's like a little telescope thing on these four corners up there, and there's a little dot that you don't even notice that's down on the ground. And this thing's like a telescope, and it's got crosshairs in it, and that crosshairs are on that dot that's on the ground. And you can look in that, and what they were showing you with that is how much the building is swaying back and forth that you don't even feel. And that's what that's. I remember looking at that, and I got almost dizzy. I thought, oh my God. So we decided it was a great idea. You can walk down instead of take the elevator down. You can walk down the old stairs. You can see the history as you walk down. You seriously can. You can see at the very top, which is the newest part, which you get concrete steps and handles and all this and that. By the time you get to the bottom, it's wood steps and the much narrower. And that they built that like way back in Abraham Lincoln days.
Yeah.
And by the time we got down to the bottom of it, that wore us out so bad because it was like 100 degrees that day. We just, also, it's not air conditioned in the stairway either.
And we found out once we got up there, if you walk up, you have to walk down. You can't get in the elevator and go down if you walk up.
I don't know. All I know is it wore us out.
My legs was going like this.
This is back when we were really healthy.
Yeah. Well, and I think you had to carry your sister down.
Dad did.
Or your dad did. It was, you know.
Deidre, I'm sorry if I'm going to say this wrong. Deidre Irison, love watching, but we don't have any villages here in Melbourne. Hey, Melbourne from down under. Do you know Robert? People always say, I guess. You know Robert? He's from Australia. He emails me all the time, makes comments on my news videos.
Yeah.
He finds them interesting. He compares some of the things we talk about to the things they're going through in Australia. And we were talking about how the house prices after COVID really went skyrocketed for some strange reason. And he was saying the same thing there, that houses that were worth a few $100,000 on his street were now selling for $1 million. And, I can understand where it's just hard. How do you have a house that's worth that much all of a sudden and you don't sell?
Yeah. Oh, and Jerry's got the house on the rock. He's got the.
Oh, he found the video?
On him, yeah.
He's really good at finding that stuff.
Yeah, you're really good at this, Jerry.
Yeah, he finds my stuff and I can't even find it.
Yeah. Carol says, I walked the Grand Canyon Skywalk. It was scary but cool.
I'm not doing that either.
I remember when we went to, was it the Grand Canyon? It was, or was it? Where we had to park the car and walk across Hoover Dam?
That's in Tennessee.
We were in Vegas.
Tennessee. Red Rock? Rock City.
Yeah, we were in Vegas, and we drove the car out to, I believe it was the Hoover Dam.
Oh, I had to park in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had to walk over.
We had to walk back, and I wouldn't walk on the sidewalk next to the thing.
He was walking in the street. He was walking on the sidewalk because you could see over the railing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Sue says, you're walking in the road. I don't care. I really don't care. I walk right on the edge of the curb. I wasn't stopping anybody, but I'm not walking over there next to that. I'm just not. And there's a whole story there too. I'm not telling you, I could do stories on Patreon that would be funny or people could at least relate to. It was like 112 degrees that day out there, and we wanted to see the Hoover Dam. We had a tour guide or a tour scheduled to go inside the dam and all that.
And we got a free car with our reservations.
Yeah, we got a free car.
So we thought we'd go somewhere with it.
Yeah, and this was the worst idea ever, driving the car out there.
We could have took a bus. They took you right to the welcome station.
And a tour bus where the hotel we was at. What the hell did we stay at? Well, whatever. We stayed next to the Pink Flamingo. I remember that. So we could have went right out the air-conditioned casino into the air-conditioned bus. That would have took us right straight down there for like $10 a head at that time. Oh, no. Let's get the free car. Let's go drive down there in the car.
Yeah. But... yeah, Jerry says this place is nuts by the videos. Yeah, it is. It's, you can't fathom what this guy had in his head when he did this. And I'm not sure if he went room by room and set these up, but the stuff is just, it's fabulous.
Oh,
but you can tell there's some age there. I remember when I heard about it when I was a kid, and I said by the time we went to see it, it'd been 50 some years and it'd been there. And I said, so, they needed to dust a few things.
Yeah, but just think
But,
about that. All that antique stuff he's got in there and the way it's set up and the way it's automated and everything. Can you imagine the expertise of maintenance people you have to maintain this stuff? The knowledge they have to have?
oh, yeah.
I don't know. And the salary that they would demand to work on this stuff?
Yeah, but it's it's something to see. If you ever get a chance, like I said, I'd heard about it since I was a kid, so I had to go there.
Kelly B in the 603 says, I'm finally in the retirement countdown. 11 weeks.
You must get something that I'm not getting. Because I didn't have anything from the lady in Australia.
You got it. You just don't look. I look at every one of them.
I'm looking at every one of them, and I'm way ahead of you.
Well, then you went too fast because you.
Oh, Christians are talking about the newly opened Sprouts Market. Yeah, and I went there yesterday and took some pictures, and it's just like we had a Earth Fair here. Before they started the construction on 441, they put in a store called Earth
Death
Fair.
Valley. That's where she lives.
She who? Wonder Hussey.
Wonder Hussey.
Okay. Way back.
I'm a little delayed.
Yeah, but like that Earth Fair was the same way, and it didn't make it. It didn't last very long. Of course, it was outside the villages, but not far. It was over there behind Miller's Ale House, where the Goodwill and all is, and it had, when at that time, and like I said, that was a couple of years ago when they had eggs for $5 a dozen. Why I thought, well, I'm not buying them here. I don't care if they were supposed to be better for you or what have you. The prices was really high, and I said they didn't last very long. So I'm hoping Sprouts maybe can last a little bit longer. But
I could care less.
Prices are high everywhere.
Their tomatoes suck. That's all I know.
They start giving you organic stuff, and they want to sell you double the amount.
I don't know how we lived through our childhood. Organic stuff. We didn't have organic food when I was a kid. We just had stuff out of the garden that my dad threw cow poop out there. We're just giving these people a reason to charge more. I always liked the one about free range chickens. Free range chickens.
I guess there's a difference. It's like cows and eating grass or eating oats.
I guess they taste better if they can run around.
Well, like, did you tell me that a steak isn't better with one or the other?
Free range chickens are eating bugs. And if you knew on a farm what a chicken actually will eat, you might think twice about that, eating free range chickens. We had a farmer next door, if you want to call it free range, they had a chicken area fenced off, and they had a little house in there, a chicken coop. And inside that coop were these little boxes that the hens would go in and lay their eggs. Talking about the farmer behind us there.
Uh-huh.
And we used to go up there and we'd get a dozen eggs back in the day. That's where we got all the eggs was back there. And I got to tell you, did those eggs taste better than the ones we bought at the store? I don't think so. Only thing is, people get brown eggs. And maybe brown eggs are supposed to taste better than white eggs. I don't know that either. All I know is when I eat an egg sandwich, whether it's brown or white or whatever, I don't really taste much difference. They need an attendant at Bucky's for the gas area, Marcia. Yeah, that would be nice, but I'll tell you, you're never going to see stuff like that. I think what they do is they depend on people's use of their common sense. People will automatically get out of the way. And I'm finding as I get older, in some areas of the country that is true, but in a lot of areas, and Florida's one of them, that's really not so true. I don't know, man, the hold the door open for an old lady that's behind you. I always do that. Now that I am the old person, but I still do that. I'm watching people sometimes. I watch kids walk in, they open the door, they just walk in. They don't care who's behind them. If there's a lady struggling to get a door open, how about this one? Somebody's in a wheelchair trying to get out of a building. most people will open the door for them and help them get out. They're in a wheelchair, for God's sake, you know. But I watch a lot of, and I got to tell you, it's the younger people. It don't seem to be the older people that I watch them. They just walk in and they just don't pay no attention to any of that. I don't know. It just don't seem right. And then look at the announcements here lately. What is it? Walmart closed down in Portland, Oregon. The stores up there because of the thievery going on. Well, what do you think's going to happen? People stand around. They watch these people come in and steal stuff, and they stand there with their cell phones doing this. That's what they do. And the cops not be able to use that for evidence, but you don't need to do that. There's more cameras in that store, video, and all this stuff than you can shake a stick at. What you need to do is 25 of you just need to jump all over top of them, hold them down until the cops get there. Once these people realize the people in the store ain't going to put up with this stuff anymore, they'll go away. But no, we just stand there and we do this. This is all we do. So they're closing there. And then the latest one I heard was four Walmart stores in Chicago closing their doors. They're getting out. They're tired of this. And I can understand why. Because we're doing this. And it's all over YouTube. You see the videos. Nobody's doing nothing. I don't know, man. It just makes sense. And where did I read somewhere? Cracker Barrel is starting to do it now. Cracker Barrel stores, it might have been in Portland, it might have been in Chicago. You'll have to Google it. But now Cracker Barrel is starting to close their doors in these certain areas. They're not going to deal with this anymore. And I understand, you know, what do you want them to do? Two. I know I'm way behind on a lot of this stuff. I'm sorry about that. I was raised in the People's Republic of California. That's good, gringo. That's good. I like that. At least you're there. You know what I'm talking about. I don't live there. I used to go to California every week when I worked for UPS. And I've always said it's a shame that California is going the direction it's going in my mind because it's a beautiful state. It really is. I mean, where else can you go snow skiing in the morning and then take a blanket and a picnic lunch and go out on the beach in the afternoon, other than California? It's a great state. It's too, and the northern half of California has a whole different feel to me. For I'll say north of San Francisco now has a whole different feel up there to me as the southern half of California. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't live there. But I've talked to a lot of people from California. I got two responses. They're moving out because they don't like it either, and they're going to either Texas or Florida. That's where most of them are going. Or the people that are there saying you have to be rich to live in California now, that the working class just don't have a chance. But they don't have a lot of money, so they can't really afford to leave. So they feel trapped. I don't know, man. You wouldn't want me to be governor of your state because I would probably piss the other half off.
Bill says that there's some type of system set up at the pools and rec centers to check that only people that live and pay for those amenities are giving access to them and not just anybody.
Huh?
There is, but it's for the pool only because the work people can go in and use the restrooms in your rec centers and pools and what have you, but they're not allowed in the pool. And they have a person from the rec center, usually the person that's sitting at the desk at the rec center, every once in a while, I don't know what their schedule is, whether it's every hour, every 2 or 3 hours, they come down and they check for your ID. You take your village ID with you. And like I said, they check your ID with this little gun that goes doo-doo, and it shows whether you're supposed to be there or not. But that's only for the pool. Like I said, the workmen are allowed in the restroom. It's kind of a pet
They're
peeve
not
with a
allowed in the
lot,
restroom. Rohan told me that. They're not allowed in the restroom.
but they do use it.
But they use it because the rule's not enforced.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
And
It's one thing to have rules here, but the question is, who enforces it? Well, on that, me and Rohan has exchanged words on that. And he says there's nobody using them restrooms at the adult pools that work for the villages. I believe that. He said the ones that are stopping there and using your restrooms are the people you're hiring to work on your house or mow your grass. He said we leave it up to the residents to educate the workers that you hire that they're not allowed to go up there. Well, that's where I had the problem. I don't have no legal right to tell anybody where they could go and not go. I said, are you giving me the authority to go up there and guard that gate and tell people they can't go there anymore? I said, tell me you are. I'll spend the weekend up there doing it. I don't mind. And I got no yay or nay on that one, but that's the problem. And the other problem is, especially at the kids pool, I'll call it the kids pool, family pool. The kids are educated. They know. They learn this from their parents. If you're in the pool, they cannot ask you to get out to produce an ID. Why that rule exists, I don't know, but it's there. So when the kids that don't even live here, now we haven't seen that problem here, but I do know at the historic area, they had that problem for a long while. As soon as they see this lady coming by with the scanner box, they all jump in the pool because they know that she can't ask them to get out of the pool. Yeah. And so there's all this, that's what goes on. And the new people never notice none of this until they've been here for a couple of years, and then they start noticing little things.
Yeah. Well, hey, Barbara and Ford Guy 65.
I'm still at Tony K. That got the $4.99 super sticker.
Okay, I haven't even, that's way back there, I guess.
Jerry says, Marcia, thanks for the support.
No, I don't have that at all. That's why I said I'm not getting the same thing you are.
Right there, it's the one right directly underneath of that Porch Settin.
I don't have that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. I have the same tag you got. It's no difference.
All right.
Question, how does Sue like the new closet? We think it looks great. That's from John and Jane R.
Yeah. And I love it. I do. And I just wish it was bigger.
The closet.
Yeah, the closet.
Jeremy does a great job. I mean, I used to be a master cabinet builder many years ago, and I know little things about it. Now, there's always things, especially today, that they compromise, compared to when I did cabinetry. We did custom cabinets. We didn't do this box cabinet stuff that you would buy at Lowe's and put them together. Ours was all custom, especially made to fit in a specific space. So we did things like dovetail joints on the drawers. You don't see that much anymore. Things like that. But Jeremy's custom closets, and I'm looking at it before she puts a lot of stuff in there. It's precise. Everything is precise. There's no, he's very good at what he does. So everything is perfectly fit. Everything perfectly works. And I don't think we'll ever have a problem with it, ever. And he told us if anything comes up, it's a lifetime guarantee. So you go to Amazon and get this stuff. It comes in 1,500 boxes with a bag of screws. You got to put it all together. Well, Jeremy just comes and does it and out the door. The major cost of a closet organizing system is drawers and doors. It really isn't the shelving all that much. I could have had ours done. I think he told me, it's on the video. I think he said 50% less than what I paid if I didn't get the drawers and doors. So he has subcontracted the work for drawers and doors to another company because they're doing it for a heck of a lot less price than what he has to do it for. And I got no problem with that. That's just the way business is. But yeah, he does a very good job. He's very patient. And with me, with cameras running around, you got to be patient with me because I'm going to bug you. I'm asking a lot of questions, not because I don't know the answer, but because I'm asking questions that I'm imagining you're going to ask. So you get the information up front. The price was very reasonable. I'll tell you that. Just like a Ronaldo and the driveway stuff. I can't tell you how much he's going to charge. Every driveway is a different size. Every garage is a different size. Your design could be different than anybody else's design. So I can't tell you that price. I can only tell you that for us, he did a great job. The crew is very good. He's personable, easy to talk to. He'll work with you on anything. And, I'm happy with it. And the price I thought was more than fair.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's when I got mine done almost 10 years ago. I'm sure the prices went up a little, especially after COVID. So I can't tell you how much it is now. I don't work for the guy. Did they sell the house next door? Oh, yeah, must have sold a house a month ago.
Yeah, the people are moving in today.
Yeah, the new people are moving in today.
Becky Forbes wants to know, what information have you heard on the new land down south for expansion, the 900 acres? The new...
Well, they bought a bunch of land, I know, in Leesburg. I don't know how many acres. I didn't pay no attention, but I know they bought a bunch of land there. So if they bought a bunch more land heading down south, I haven't read that yet. I don't know.
They have, but they haven't let out what they're going to do with it yet. Who knows? But they will soon, because they're really good about that when they get an idea of what they're going to do with things. So we'll find out soon. It's just right now we don't know. We just not too long ago heard that they'd bought. Well, we was in Texas when we heard that they'd bought the other 900 acres. So it's hard telling. Yeah. And Barbara says she thinks the closet turned out beautiful. You can tell by his demeanor that he wants it right. Pride in his workmanship. And yeah, he does have that.
What's that?
Jeremy has pride in his workmanship. You can tell.
Yeah, he's good. He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does. I'm just trying to get his name out there a little bit because he's a fairly new business. I think he's been busy. I know when he got done with me, he had a job to go to. I get emails from people all the time telling me that they've talked to Jeremy.
Yeah, and Linda had hers done just before we had ours done.
Yeah, so
he stayed busy.
Yeah, I think his name's getting out there. And, if you don't want to take my word for it, I don't know. There's people that follow us that has had Jeremy do work for them, and they can tell you their story of it. But from what I'm seeing and what I hear, I don't see a problem with using Jeremy. And he does more than just closets. He can build you anything you want. Mm-hmm. He can build you a Murphy bed. I saw it over there in his shop. He does custom Murphy beds.
I've already talked about him doing some cabinets in my kitchen, some custom cabinets in my kitchen. So
when you do cabinetry, the way they do it at these box stores, which is what you have in your kitchen nowadays, sometimes matching the wood and the color and everything is almost impossible to do if you want to add more. Yeah. So we talked to him about adding a few more cabinets in our kitchen, and he can build them to come closer to matching what we have.
Yeah, and Land Girl says she'll definitely use him for some projects she has in mind when she gets here. So,
well, have him come over. He's, like I say, he's easy to get along with. He'll come over and he'll measure, and he'll work out whatever it is you're wanting done, a plan. He showed us plans. And I just told him straight out, I said, what do I know about your plans? I said, just build the damn thing and get it in there. That's what I told him.
Yeah. And you used to be a cabinet maker. That's scary.
Everybody does plans differently.
Yeah. Jim Leitzer? Hope they keep buying and building. I'm only 46 and need a place to go in a few years. Well, I think we'll probably be here in a few years. Yeah, they keep building. And I don't know how far they're going to go with it, but I imagine as long as they're making money, they're going to keep going.
Did you hear about the woman that got eaten by an alligator? She was trying to save her dog. Yeah, I did hear about that. I don't remember. It wasn't on any of the village's news, I don't think. I think I saw it on the news on TV about it. It was down south or somewhere, Sarasota, Fort Myers, I don't know, down there. And listen, I've said it 100 times, don't walk your dog anywhere near any water. I don't care if you think it's safe. You ain't never going to see that alligator. And if you're walking a dog, by the time you see that alligator, the dog's gone.
Yeah. And you don't want to get that false sense of security, because remember the little boy that got ate by the alligator at Disney? Because his parents thought Disney took them out of the water. They thought it was a safe place because they thought that they didn't have any alligators in that water. Well, we kind of felt that way when we come here, and we actually walked our dog around the water until somebody told us, hey, I wouldn't do that. I mean, we was from the Midwest. What do we know about alligators?
Yeah.
And we were told that when they get to a certain size here, they take them out. That's not the case.
No.
So, just any water, I said, no matter what it is, just be aware and don't take your animals near it.
Yeah. We didn't realize the danger we was putting our dog, actually us too, really.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything about it. Just never dawned on me. Just like if you're not used to having an ear or an eye for rattlesnakes, you just don't even think about it. Well, they do have rattlesnakes here.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that all that much, but since we've been here, we've seen one dead one on the road. Some car hit it or something. That's the only one I've seen. But just know that when you go outside and decide to stick your hand under your bushes to pull out weeds, you may want to take a stick and poke around in there a little bit, because there can be rattlesnake in there.
Yeah. But like I said, you get that false sense of security, because we were here, we'd been coming down for 3 or 4 years and had never seen an alligator. So like I said, we had that idea that they took them out, and that's just not the case. So
Cheryl Perry says, Sue. Oh, you already answered that about playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, you're so far
I'm catching up.
Yeah, the village's chief. Hi, guys. Well, hi. How you doing? Land Girl says some of the dog parks in the villages have small ponds near the parks, so be extra careful. Yes. Like I said, it's just one of those things. Like I said, we were here for years and never seen that first alligator.
Becky says, can I install them racks in the garage? The problem with that, Becky, is I already have them out there.
Yeah, well, our garage is already full of racks.
Yeah, I got racks everywhere I can put them out there, and I don't need them. But I just have a hard time throwing things away if I think somebody can use them. I just don't give them away. So if they're long, well, most of them are. There's some shorter ones. Remember, he had the shoe thing?
Yeah.
So I've got some of those, and I've got the rack to hang on the wall for like a shoe rack thing. And I got the long racks, and I'm not going to use any of that stuff. I know I'm not. So if you're interested in it, just contact me. I'll give you an address, and you can have them. I'll just give them to you.
Yeah. And KM says that lady that was only about 5-minute drive from where she's at.
What is?
That lady that was killed by the alligator, she was only about 5-minute drive from where she's at.
Yeah, I think it was an elderly lady. So you never know what to say about that, because elderly lady, she may have had dementia. How do I know? And maybe she in her mind didn't even think about it. Yeah. But I'm just saying to you out there that don't have dementia, if you come down here, try to put this in your mind. If you got a pet, you got a dog, or you're going to take your dog for a walk, walking dogs are fine. Just don't walk your dog near a water. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This thing of alligators getting dogs, you don't hear it a lot, but it seems like I'm hearing it more frequently now.
Oh, and Becky Forbes says, are you my husband's long-lost brother? He must have the same idea you do.
Kathy B. in 603 said, if you guys have a Patreon lunch while I'm renting, I'll be there. That's Sue's deal. I don't get involved with that. She'll tell me she's wanting to plan one, and what I do is I'll send all the messages out to Patreon and YouTube members only, and ask for an RSVP, so we kind of know how many people are going to be there, because that way we know how big of a table to reserve for everybody.
Yeah.
And then
we are due to have one this month.
Yeah, we're due to have one. I don't know if we're going to get to it or not, but we're due to have one.
Yeah.
And then once she knows where and what time, then I send it out. I only send it out to the people that RSVP'd. If you don't RSVP, then you're not going to get the message of where it is and what time.
Okay. Marcia says to offer them to the new neighbor. I'm assuming she means those racks.
Who? What?
And Marcia says to offer them to the new neighbor, the racks. They probably have plenty over there. They probably don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably don't. He's got a golf cart garage. I don't have that.
And the people that lived there before, they had it fixed pretty nice. So I don't think he'd need them. Oh, her husband's a hoarder too. He says he collects, not hoards.
Well, call it what you want. But after 30 years of collecting, you end up with a garage full of crap. You look like a hoarder.
Yeah. Well, but, I said, it's always my crap that you're always talking about. Well, it never did rain. The wind's still blowing, but it never did rain. That's what I said, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow too, but who knows? I said, I think we're kind of in a little crook here. And I said, it goes north and south of us for some odd reason. And I looked at the radar map a while ago to see where it was going. And then it was going all the way around us, but not hitting us. Yeah.
Jerry's talking about the dollars that it takes for a golf course membership. If you're talking about for the country clubs, that's a priority. That's the only thing that priority membership is good for is for the country clubs priority membership. And I've already received emails from people that the price on that's increased. I don't even know what it is because I don't play golf on the country clubs anymore. It's just getting kind of ridiculous. So, but if you're one of those that likes to have that, because there's other things you get. There's different priority passes now. They have one. It's the I don't know what they call it, but all you get is a priority membership to go to the country club swimming pools, not for golf. Then there's another one where you get the golf and the pools, and there might be some more I don't know. So you really need to check into that. Ronald Pass sent us a $5 super sticker.
Yeah, I had that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the last one
Ronald
I had.
Pass, by the way, is self-proclaimed to be, he is my most favorite fan.
Yeah, he's the greatest fan.
The greatest fan, that's right.
But I said, he was sitting out on his porch with his coffee. It was 75 degrees there. He's in Ohio, right?
I better enjoy it because in Ohio, that could change tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, and Marcia says Atlanta's getting some serious weather tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, and I think we're supposed to get that same weather. It's coming from the Texas area, coming across the Gulf, and we're supposed to get that, but we'll see. A lot of it just goes to the north and misses us altogether. We really need the rain too, and I never thought I'd say that because I'm not a farmer anymore, so I don't care.
Better care, the grass will die.
Well, I said, I know we need
They ain't looking none too good back here now.
Yeah, and I called them about it, but I haven't heard from them yet. They're supposed to send a tech out.
They'll get around to it.
Yeah. Well, I will be on them again tomorrow.
Michael Lilly or Michelle, probably Michelle. Lilly says, it is 724 care for pets in Ocala. Oh, she's probably talking to somebody else. Yeah, and like I said, there might be someplace in Ocala. I'm just not aware of it. I just know when our little dog was going down fast, we threw her in the car and we headed straight to Gainesville because that's 24/7. They got an emergency door just like an emergency hospital. You don't have to go in and do all this, nothing. Just went in and some nurse, I'll call her, met us right at the door and wanted to know what was going on. We told her. She took Katie, wrapped her in a blanket, gone. While we went over to the counter and give her our credit card information and all that kind of stuff. And then we sat and waited in a waiting room. We just didn't stand around. They had a waiting room. And then she came in and the doctor came in and told us what was going on. I mean, it's really a neat place to go if you have to go.
Yeah. And it made you feel, because she was in there before. We took her once before because she ate rocks. She wasn't the brightest dog, but she ate rocks, and one she couldn't pass. And so we ended up taking her up there, and it was the first time that she'd ever been away from us, and she was kind of raised in a cage, not on purpose, but she was mainly spent most of her time in a cage until she come here. So I'd never put her in a cage and the whole time she'd been here. So when they took her up there, I asked them, if they were going to put her in a cage. And the lady said, no, she won't be in a cage. She'll be in a room. she's a patient. She'll be in a room. And then so I said, well, I'm going to go. They said it was going to be a while because they had to flood her with solutions, a lot of water to kind of get that to pass. And so they told me to go on home. And I really hesitated to do that. And they said, don't worry, there'll be somebody with her all night. And they did. They did not put her in a cage. They had her in a room, and there was an intern in there with her the whole night. And they would call me with updates. And I'd never had that kind of service before at any kind of hospital. So I was very, very thrilled with them. I thought, if anything ever happens again, this is where I'll come. And that's why we took her up there the last time.
Christine
Shanice, yeah.
So it'll be 80, but it'll be 50s this weekend. See, enjoy it while you got it.
Oh, Lane Girl says she better batten down the hatches and get Hamish's toys together. They're just northwest of Atlanta. Yeah, it's a coming. Is Hamish afraid of storms? I mean, some dogs, it doesn't seem to bother him.
Some dogs are afraid of lightning, not necessarily a storm.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
Thunder.
It's the thunder that scares them. But Katie, during the last hurricane, she stood in the middle of the room. She wouldn't sit down. She wouldn't lay down. She stood in the middle of the room while that hurricane was going on. I'd never seen anything like it. And I tried and tried and tried to get her to at least sit down. And she was just so terrified she wouldn't.
Bucky says, are you my husband's long-lost brother, Skip? I don't know. What did I say or do?
You're a hoarder. That's
I'm not
what
a
she's
hoarder.
talking about.
Listen, I'm not. I'm the one that's always complaining about get rid of this crap.
Yeah.
Why are we keeping this crap?
Well, now you just got through saying that you don't get rid of anything.
I don't get rid of anything that I think can be repurposed. Like I got a dishwasher that works perfectly fine. We took it out. We had never leaked. Sue just decided she wanted to go all stainless steel. That's the reason why we took it out. And I told her, I said, I'm going to give this away to somebody. I mean, around here, there's homeless people on the outside of the villages. I don't want to scare anybody. And there's people over there that live in the woods. Now, obviously, they can't use it. But I know there's poor people around here, or maybe some elderly people that might be struggling, especially up on the historic side. They might be struggling a little bit. And this dishwasher is something that maybe they could use. I'd give it to them. But
Well, I did get the number for Habitat Restore, because I've actually been in it. And then there was another one.
that little refrigerator I got in there, I keep hanging on to it thinking, I don't know, I might use that someday. I had it out here. I just put beer in. That's all I used it for. And then when we got all that stuff in the kitchen, I told Sue, I'm not getting rid of that refrigerator. I'm going to put it in the garage. Somehow, some way, I'm going to work that in the garage. I'll put all my beer in there. So when I did that, I had two small refrigerators. One here. Where did I have the other one at?
And one in the garage and one
I
in
had
here.
one in the garage. Well, Jose on the WNL show, he took the one that was in the garage. And then this one, it was out here. I just set it in my garage next to the dishwasher. There's nothing wrong with it either. I just keep thinking I can find somebody, anyway.
Yeah. And Barbara, next door, it's getting weird, because a friend of mine had a desk that she wanted to sell, and she said some lady called her and wanted a code word or something, and it's just getting too weird to do that stuff. There's just so many scams out there. And so I just didn't want to mess with it on that. So I thought I'd just get somebody to come pick it up, because I know that there's a thrift store out there. Now, most of the thrift stores around here are very, very picky. It has to be good stuff.
Almost pristine.
Yeah, almost pristine. But there are a few, and like I said, the Habitat Restore, I think they will. What are you pointing at?
See him over there? See him flipping it? See him flipping it?
Oh, for gosh sake. Yeah.
Little bastard.
They won't be here. They won't be here that long. Look at me like that. It won't be here that long. But yeah, they, those places, I just soon give it away as to worry about, having to worry about a scam. You have to give your phone number out or your house number out or something like that.
It's always a scam.
Yeah.
It's
So that's
just, it's
what I
just
said.
ridiculous anymore. I get a lot of people that they're helping us trying to find a small dog, and I appreciate it. But trust me when I tell you that you're not going to find anything on Facebook that I haven't already looked at or anything else. Once in a great while, I will get something for somebody local, and I'll say, call this person. They got these little puppies they're going to give away for like $50, and they're like, and I'll read the ad and they'll say, registered Yorkshire, $50. First of all, that ain't happening. I mean, I just know that right up front. And so then I'll call, and then you find out, here's two things that happen. They'll say, oh, yeah, I got these little puppies. You send us and it's always somebody with a profound accent. You send us a $200 cash deposit for one of these puppies. I said, well, I'm not doing that now. I'll bring the cash. I just want to know, give me an address so I can come and look at them. You'll send us $200 deposit now, or we don't give you. That's a scam. Forget it. I'm done. I hang up. And the other one is, they are free. This is a legit ad. They are free, but there's a rehoming fee. Well, how much is the rehoming fee? $5,000. Now, you think I'm joking, and I'm not.
No, some of them, it's just insane, kind of. And I think, the other day it was funny because I was playing cards at somebody else's house, and Skip calls and said, do you know anybody that's got like
dog.
an Eskimo dog? And I told him, no, I didn't know anybody. I knew all the dogs in the neighborhood.
Here, I'm going to show you a picture. I got a picture of him. I took a picture of him because I was sending this. It was a beautiful dog. I'd never seen this dog. Let me see if I can get it up here so you can at least see it.
Yeah.
Where's the camera on this thing? Can you see it?
Well, anyhow, he asked if I knew who it was, and I didn't know it belonged to, so I thought it might have been a visitor that had it. And so when I come home, there's a car sitting in the driveway, and it's running. And Skip's over talking to the neighbors somewhere, and I thought, well, where is this guy? I come in the house, he wasn't in here, the dog wasn't here, and I didn't see the dog anywhere. Well, then a little bit later, I seen him come back and get in the car and take off. So I asked Skip about it, and I guess when he let the dog, because he had him on a leash, when he let the dog off the leash, it took off again, and this guy was out looking for it. But anyhow, I went in the house. There's a plastic bag on the floor, a Ziploc bag, and I had put out some smoked ham chops to thaw out for dinner. And so those smoked ham chops were gone. There was 3 of them in there. And then there was a honeydew melon.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Close it with a story.
There was a honeydew melon on the floor, and it had teeth mark in it. So while he was outside, this dog was having a heyday inside.
Yeah, dog ate my dinner. So we found the owner. All right, that was our 2-hour mark.
Oh.
So we'll just say, see you guys later. Thanks for coming by. Hope it was okay on the back porch, not the front porch.
See y'all.
And keep watching the videos. See y'all.